Hello, my friend. Welcome to VUS Learning English. My name is Anna, and I am so happy you are here today. Today, we are going to talk about something very important. The new year is coming, the year 2026. A new year feels like a fresh, clean page in a book. Today, we will talk about how to write a beautiful story for yourself. We will talk about how to rebuild yourself in the new year. Not just change things on the outside, but to build a strong, happy you from the inside. Thank you so much for joining me today. Your time is a gift, and I am so grateful you are sharing it with me. If you enjoy this time together, you can tap the like button. It is a small click for you, but it helps our channel grow. It helps us reach more learners just like you. Also, you can subscribe to our channel. This way, you will not miss our future episodes. We can continue to learn and grow together. I always love to know where you are listening from. Please tell me in the comments below. It makes me so happy to see our global family. Okay, are you ready? Let's begin. I need you to hear me. Before you try to fix anything, before you make big plans, just listen for a moment. The new year is close. Maybe you have a pen in your hand. Maybe you have a clean piece of paper. You are ready to write your New Year's resolutions. Your goals for the new year. You are making a promise to yourself. You say, this year will be different. This year, I will finally change. I see you. I understand you. I know you really want this. I know you have hope in your heart. You are writing your goals. You want to be a new you, a better you. Maybe you want to be more healthy. Maybe you want to be stronger, fitter. Maybe you want to have more money, wealthier. Maybe you want your home to be clean and neat, more organized. Maybe you want to do more things every day, more productive. Maybe you want to be stronger in your mind, more disciplined. This is a beautiful thing to do. It is a wonderful tradition. When you write these goals, you are saying something important. You are saying, I believe in myself. I believe I can change. I believe I can be better. And that is true. You can. But wait. Let's think for a moment. What if you are trying to build a beautiful tall house? A skyscraper. But the ground under the house is not strong. What if the ground is broken? What if there are cracks in the foundation? The foundation is the bottom part of the house. It holds everything up. If the foundation is cracked, the skyscraper will fall. It does not matter how beautiful your plan is. It does not matter how tall you want to build. A cracked foundation cannot hold a strong house. Before you make new plans for a new house, we need to look at the ground. We need to fix the cracks. We need to rebuild the foundation. The real work is not building the new house first. The real work is fixing the foundation first. We must rebuild from the inside out, from the ground up. I know that some of you are smiling on the outside. You look happy. You say you are fine. But on the inside, you are tired. You are very, very tired. Your soul is tired. Your heart is tired. You are carrying something heavy. It is the weight of the last year. Maybe last year was hard. Maybe it took more from you than it gave to you. You are pretending to be strong. You are performing resilience. Resilience means you can be strong after something difficult. But inside, you have wounds. You have pain that did not heal. And you tell yourself something. You say, the answer is to work harder. I need to run faster. I need to achieve more. I just need to do better. You believe that more work will fix everything. You believe that a better plan is the answer. But my friend, the problem is not your plan. The problem is not how hard you work. The problem is the ground you're building on. The foundation, it is not stable. It is not strong. It is fractured. It is broken. Your goals are beautiful. Your dreams are wonderful. But they cannot stand on a foundation of old pain. They cannot stand on a foundation of sadness that is not healed. So this talk is not about New Year's resolutions. This is about something deeper. This is about starting again in a true way. This is about resurrection. It is about coming back to life, stronger and whole. Section 1. The anatomy of the cracked foundation. Let's be honest with each other. Let's have a real quiet conversation. You feel stuck. Maybe you feel like you are in the same place, year after year. You make the same resolutions every January. I will exercise more. I will eat healthy food. I will learn a new skill. But then February comes, and the motivation is gone. The promises are forgotten. And do you feel bad about yourself? This is not because you are weak. It is not because you are lazy. It is not a sign of your failure. This feeling of being stuck is a message. It is a symptom. Think about a car. Sometimes a light turns on in the car, a warning light. Maybe the check engine light. The light tells you something needs attention, something under the surface. This feeling of failing your resolutions is your check engine light. It is a light on the dashboard of your soul. It is telling you to look deeper. Many people fail their New Year's resolutions. The numbers are very high. Some studies show that about 23% of people quit in the first week. That is almost 1 in every 4 people. And after 1 month, many more people have stopped. Only a very small number of people, maybe less than 10%, actually finish their goals for the year. This is not because people are not trying. It is because we are trying to fix an inside problem with an outside solution. We need to become archaeologists of our own pain. What is an archaeologist? An archaeologist is a person who digs in the ground. They look for old things. They want to understand the past. They are very gentle. They brush away the dust very carefully. We need to do this for ourselves. We need to be gentle archaeologists of our own hearts. We need to gently brush away the dust of the last year, or the last 5 years, or the last 10 years. And we need to look at the cracks in our foundation, the parts of us that feel broken or hurt. What are these cracks? What do they look like? One crack is the echo of old failures, things that did not go well in the past. But it is not just the memory of the failure. It is the story you told yourself about the failure. This is very important. Let me give you an example. Maybe you started a project at work, and the project failed. The failure is one thing, but what story did you write in your mind? Maybe the story was, I am not good enough. Here's another example. Maybe a relationship ended, a person you loved left. The end of the relationship is the event. But what was the story? Maybe the story you wrote was, I am not lovable. No one will ever truly love me. One more example. Maybe you wanted a better job, a promotion, and someone else got the job. That is what happened. But what story did you tell yourself? Maybe the story was, I will always be forgotten. My work is never seen. These stories are not just thoughts. They feel very real. They become active, living things inside you. Think of a computer. These stories are like bad code. They are like a virus. They run in the background of your mind, your operating system. And this bad code quietly breaks every new program you try to start. It makes your new goals fail because the background story is still running. The story says, you are not good enough. The story says, you will fail again. This creates a sad circle, a self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe you will fail, so you do. Let's talk about another kind of crack. These cracks are old tools, survival tools that you do not need anymore. Think about a time that was very hard for you, time of great pain, or a time of great stress. During that time, you learned how to survive. You created tools to protect yourself. These tools were very smart. For example, maybe someone hurt you badly, so you built a wall around your heart, emotional armor. You decided it was safer to feel nothing. It was safer than getting hurt again. This armor protected you. Another example. Maybe you learned that speaking your true feelings was dangerous. It created fights or problems. So you learned to be silent. Being quiet kept you safe. One more example. Maybe you learned to be a people pleaser. You learned to always say yes to other people. You believed that your value, your worth, came from being useful to others. This made you feel needed. It made you feel safe. These strategies were brilliant. They were miracles. They kept you safe when you were in danger. You should thank them. But here is the secret problem. The tools that keep you safe in one part of your life can become a prison in the next part of your life. The armor that protected your heart now stops you from feeling real love and connection. The silence that kept you safe now stops you from being your true, authentic self. The people-pleasing that made you feel valued now makes you feel tired and angry. It leads to burnout. You keep carrying the heavy bricks from your past, so you build the same house again. It is a different year, but it is the same house, with the same problems. You cannot build a future of love and connection if your foundation is covered in the armor of being alone. You cannot build a future of speaking your truth if your foundation is made of silence. The plan for the new building is not the problem. The problem is that you're using broken pieces from the old building. You're using rubble to build. This is why the idea of a fresh start on January 1st is often a lie. We pretend that a new calendar day can erase our pain. We think our old habits and sad feelings are controlled by the calendar. They are not. Your mind, your subconscious, does not get a message on New Year's Day. It does not get a note that says, it's time to let go now. Your body does not automatically reset. Your nervous system remembers. It remembers what was dangerous. It remembers what was painful. This is why you have that feeling of, I have been here before. You find yourself in the same situations. The people are different. The places are different. But the feeling is the same. The emotional story is the same. Your deep mind is trying to fix the past. It creates the same situation again. It hopes that this time you can win. It hopes that this time the story will have a happy ending. But if you are not aware, you just play the same part again. You change the clothes and the background, but you do not change the story. Now let's talk about the biggest cracks, the deepest cracks. These are the heavy feelings we carry but do not see, the unseen burdens. These feelings are guilt, shame, and regret. These feelings are not light. They have weight. They make you heavy. Guilt and shame are different. It is very important to understand this. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am something bad. Let me say that again. Guilt is about your action. Shame is about your identity, who you are. Guilt is like a brick in your backpack. It is heavy, but you can take it out. You can say, I made a mistake. You can apologize. You can learn. Shame is different. Shame is the belief that you are the brick. It is the feeling that you are the mistake, that you are fundamentally bad, wrong, broken. When you carry shame, you live life from a place of not having enough, from a deficit. You set goals, but the goals do not come from a place of joy or a desire to grow. They come from a place of not enoughness. For example, a goal might be, I need to lose weight. If this goal comes from joy, it is about health. It is about feeling strong and full of energy. But if the goal comes from shame, it is not about health. It is about shame for your body. The voice in your head says, my body is wrong. It is bad. Another example. I need to make more money. If this goal comes from joy, it is about freedom. It is about creating opportunities for you and your family. But if the goal comes from shame, it is not about freedom. It is about a deep fear, a fear of not having enough, a feeling that you are not safe. Goals that grow from the seed of shame usually do not succeed. Why? Because they are a way of attacking yourself. They are not a form of loving yourself. Self-attack is not self-care. And even if you achieve a goal from shame, there is no happiness. There is no relief. You lose the weight. But the feeling of shame about your body is still there. You make the money. But the feeling of not being enough is still there. The finish line just moves because the real problem, the crack in the foundation, is still there. So here you are, standing at the beginning of a new year. You are holding a list of your dreams, your ambitions. And under your feet, the ground is not solid. It has these cracks. Old stories that say you are not good enough. Old tools that once protected you but now trap you. And the heavy, invisible weight of shame. You are trying to build a new life on broken ground. This is why it feels so hard. This is why you feel so tired. Section 2. The problem with hustle on a broken heart. Let's talk about our favorite way to deal with this pain. It is a method our society loves. Everyone claps for it. This method is hustle. What does hustle mean? It means to work very, very hard all the time, to be busy, to be productive, to never stop moving. We live in a culture that loves productivity. We worship it. We believe that being busy is the same as being successful. We believe that moving is the same as making progress. We have been taught to believe something, that we can outrun our pain if we just work hard enough, if we just run fast enough. The sadness cannot catch us. So when we feel the pain of our cracked foundations, when we feel that discomfort, we get busy. We decide to hustle our way out of our hurt. We decide to work our way out of our sadness. We tell ourselves things. I am too busy to feel sad right now. I have a business to build. Or we say, I will feel good about myself when I get that new job. I will be happy when I have more money. We use our work and our goals as a medicine. But it is not a healing medicine. It is a medicine that numbs. An anesthetic. It stops us from feeling for a little while. We use the speed of the grind and the hustle to avoid being still, to avoid being quiet, because in the quiet, we might have to feel what is really inside us, and that is scary. This brings us to a very important idea It is an idea that our culture does not like, but it is a vital idea. It is essential for your life. The idea is healing before hustle. Let me say it again. Healing before hustle. This means you must prioritize your inner peace. You must make your inner stability more important than moving fast on the outside. Because hustle without healing is not strength. It is a reaction to pain. It is a trauma response. Think of an animal in the forest. If it sees danger, it has two choices: fight or flight. It can fight the danger, or it can run away from the danger. That is flight. Hustle is often a form of flight. It is running away from the ghosts of your past, hoping they will not catch you. But my friend, they always catch up. They always find you. The signs of this are everywhere. You can see them. It is the business owner who builds a big, successful company, but he feels empty inside. He is always worried, always anxious, because his work is his identity. His success is his worth. If the business fails, he feels he is a failure. It is the person who works so hard to get a perfect body. They go to the gym every day. They eat perfectly. And they get the body they wanted. But they still look in the mirror and criticize themselves. They still see flaws. Why? Because the goal was never about being healthy. The goal was about silencing the voice inside that said, "You are not good enough." It is the person who achieves everything, the chronic overachiever. They get the best grades, the best job, the perfect house. And then one day, they burn out. They have a breakdown. Or they get a sickness related to stress. Their body is finally screaming. Their body is saying what their mind refused to hear. The body says, "You cannot continue like this. You cannot keep this speed." The deep tiredness you feel, it is not from the work itself. It is from the huge energy it takes to do two things at once. You are trying to grow and perform on the outside. And at the same time, you are trying to hold down a mountain of pain on the inside. Imagine you are trying to run a marathon, a very long race. Now imagine you are running that marathon with a backpack. And inside the backpack are heavy rocks, 100 pounds of rocks. Running the marathon is already hard. Running it with the invisible weight of old pain is impossible. You will get exhausted. This brings us back to your New Year's resolutions, your big plan, the plan to change everything in your life at the same time. This plan fails because you do not have enough energy for it. Think of your emotional energy like money in a bank account. If you have a lot of unprocessed pain, your mind is using energy to manage it. It is like you have a secret, expensive bill to pay every day. So your emotional bank account is empty. It is bankrupt. And now you want to do the biggest project of your life, a total renovation of you. But you have no money in your account to pay for it. Your brain cannot handle that much change when it is already so tired. So you make a big list. You declare, "This year, I will wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I will go to the gym every day. I will meditate and write in a journal. I will read 50 books. And I will start a new business on the side." This list sounds amazing. It sounds powerful, but what are you really doing? You are starting a war against yourself. You are putting your logical mind against your tired, wounded heart. That is a war you will always lose. Willpower, your mental strength, is like a fire. It burns very hot, but it does not burn for a long time. It is a finite resource. It runs out. When the first energy of the new year is gone, when the motivation is low, you are left alone, in the quiet, with the same uncomfortable feelings you were trying to run away from. And so, the old habits come back. Not because you are a weak person, but because they are familiar, they are known. And our human body and mind often confuse what is familiar with what is safe. Even if it is familiar pain. This is a very deep and strange truth. The familiar feeling of failing your resolution again can feel safer to your deep mind than the scary, unknown feeling of actually succeeding. Success is a change, and change can feel dangerous. Your mind asks questions. If I lose the weight, people will look at me differently. What do I do? If my business succeeds, what if I cannot keep it successful? The pressure will be so high. The familiar struggle is a known thing. You know how to live with it. Success is a new land. It is a new map. And for a mind that is trained to expect danger, new things can feel very scary. So, what do? You stop yourself. This is self-sabotage. You procrastinate. You say, I will do it tomorrow. You find excuses. I am too tired today. You fall back into the old way of living. You do not do this because you want to fail. You do this because your deep mind is trying to protect you. It is a drive for self-preservation. It wants to keep you in the safe, familiar place. So, the fact that you make the same resolution every year is not a sign of your failure. It is an invitation. It is a gift. It is a compass. A compass points north. Your repeated resolution points directly to the part of you that needs healing the most. So please, stop trying to hustle your way over the cracks. Stop trying to work so hard that you do not feel them. Stop trying to put a pretty piece of paper over them. A paper with goals and lists. The cracks are still there. It is time to be still. It is time to be quiet. And it is time to begin the real work. Section 3. The real work. Rebuilding from the inside out. This is the moment. This is the turning point in our conversation. We have talked a lot about the problem. Now we will start talking about the only real solution. And the first step is to change how you see things. A profound shift in perspective. The real work is not about fixing yourself. You are not a broken machine. You are not a broken chair or a broken toy. You do not need to be fixed. You are a human being. You have lived. You have survived hard things. You have adapted. You have learned. The real work is about healing. There's a big difference between fixing and healing. The word fixing suggests that something is wrong with you. It is a word of judgment. The word healing suggests that something has happened to you. It is a word of compassion. This small change in words is a huge change in feeling. You move from judging yourself to being kind to yourself. You move from self-judgment to self-compassion. It means you look at the cracks in your foundation and you do not feel disgust. You do not feel shame. Instead, you feel curiosity. You know these cracks are a map of where you have been, and they hold the secret key. The key to where you need to go next. The goal is integration. What does integration mean? It means to bring all the parts of you together, to make them whole. It is about taking your experiences, the good and the bad, and weaving them together. Like threads of different colors, you weave them into a new story, a new beautiful cloth. This new story is one of strength, of resilience, of wisdom. As one expert in healing, Michelle Rosenthal said, "Trauma creates change you don't choose. Healing is about creating change you do choose. Pain changes you, but healing allows you to choose how you change." So, how do we begin this work? How do we start healing? Here are the steps, gentle steps. Step 1, the audit. Becoming an archaeologist of your own pain. First, you must be willing to look. You cannot heal what you refuse to see. You cannot heal a wound if you pretend it is not there. This is not about sitting in your pain forever. It is not about wallowing. It is about getting information with kindness, with compassionate detachment. What does that mean? It means you look at your feelings like a kind scientist. You are just observing, not judging. This is an audit, an inventory. You are simply making a list of the cracks. So get a piece of paper or a journal. Find a quiet place where you can be alone and ask yourself some honest questions. Do not ask these questions like a police officer. Ask them like a kind, loving friend. Here's the first question. What are the repeating, painful stories I tell myself? Write them down. What are the sentences that play again and again in your mind? I am always alone. I am not smart enough for this. I can never trust anyone again. Just write them. Look at them on the paper. Do not judge them as good or bad. Just see them. Here's the second question. What old survival tools am I still using? Remember the armor, the silence, the people-pleasing? Are you still using them? Do you use anger to keep people away from you? Do you work too hard to feel like you are good enough? Do you make yourself small to avoid problems? Be very honest. Think about the job these tools did for you. They kept you safe. Thank them for their work, and then ask, do they still help me today, or do they hurt me now? Here's the third question. This one can be a little scary. What am I really afraid would happen if I actually succeeded? This question can show you the deep reason for your self-sabotage. If you became healthy and strong, are you afraid of new attention? If you became successful, are you afraid that people will judge you or that you will lose it all? And just listen for the answer. It is okay if it is scary. Just writing it down can make it less powerful. And the fourth question, where do I feel this in my body? Feelings that we do not process live in our bodies. Unprocessed emotion is stored in the body. It is the tight feeling in your chest. It is the heavy knot in your stomach. It is the pain in your neck. When you think about a past failure or a painful memory, close your eyes and just notice. Where does the feeling show up in your body? Your body knows the truth. Your body holds the score. Just noticing the physical feeling is a big, important step. It makes the feeling real. That is step 1, the audit, looking with kindness. Step 2, the grief, giving the past an honorable burial. After you have looked at the cracks, after you have identified the pain, you must let yourself feel what they mean. Healing needs grief. Grief is the process of feeling sadness for a loss. We often want to skip this step. We want to go from I see the problem to I fix the problem very fast. But you cannot skip the feeling part. You cannot bypass the emotional process. You need to grieve. What do you need to grieve? Maybe you need to grieve for the person you were before the pain, the innocent you. Maybe you need to grieve for the future you dreamed of, the one that did not happen. Grief is not a sign of weakness. It is the emotional work of letting go. It is the water that cleans the wound. Without the water, the wound stays dirty. How do you grieve? It is different for everyone. It might mean you need to cry. Let yourself cry. Tears are healing water. It might mean you need to write a letter, an angry letter to someone who hurt you, or a sad letter to yourself. You do not need to send the letter. Just writing it can let the feelings out. It might mean you finally speak about the pain. You tell a trusted friend or a therapist. You give a voice to the pain you have held in silence for so long. So many of us are told, just be positive. Look on the bright side. But you cannot put a beautiful cover on an infected wound. You have to clean the infection first. Grief is the antiseptic. It is the medicine that cleans the wound. It is only by letting yourself feel the full pain that you take away its power over you. Step 3. The integration. Redefining success. When you audit your pain and you grieve your losses, you create empty space inside you. This space is very important. It is where you can write a new story. This is integration. You are bringing the healed parts back into yourself. And in this new space, you can decide what success really means. For you, not for your parents, not for your boss, not for society, for you. For many years, maybe your goals were about fixing what you thought was wrong with you. I am not thin enough. I am not rich enough. I am not successful enough. The new work is to set goals based on who you are becoming and what you truly love and value. Success is not just a thing you get on the outside. Success is a feeling on the inside. Maybe success is waking up in the morning and not feeling afraid. Maybe success is saying no to something you do not want to do and holding that boundary, even if it is hard. Maybe success is choosing to rest when you are tired, instead of pushing yourself until you burn out. Maybe success is speaking your truth, even if your voice is shaking. Maybe success is looking in the mirror and saying something kind to the person you see. This changes everything. Everything. You stop trying to prove you're good enough, and you start expressing the goodness that is already in you. You move from goals based on shame to goals based on your values. So ask yourself this question: what do I want to feel this year? Not what do I want to get, but what do I want to feel? Do you want to feel peace? Do you want to feel connection with others? Do you want to feel freedom? Do you want to feel joy? Choose a feeling. Then ask the next question: what small, gentle action can help me feel that? If you want to feel peace, the goal is not make $1 million. Maybe the goal is, I will sit in silence and breathe for 5 minutes every morning. If you want to feel connection, the goal is not become very popular. Maybe the goal is, I will call one friend for a real conversation every week. This is how you repair the foundation. You are not just pouring new cement over the old cracks. You are carefully filling the cracks with something beautiful, with the gold of self-awareness, with the gold of self-compassion. This is the real work. Section 4. The path forward. Consistency over intensity. This brings us to the final piece of our puzzle, the final part of our journey today. You need to understand that this healing work is not a one-time event. It is not a project you finish in a week. It is a daily practice. Rebuilding a foundation is slow. It is steady work. It needs consistency over intensity. What is the difference? Intensity is doing something with a lot of energy for a short time. Consistency is doing something with a little energy for a long time. The old you, the you that hustles, loves intensity. It loves the big, dramatic change. The 30-day challenge, the total life makeover in 1 month. The healing you, the new you, understands something different. It understands that real, lasting change comes from small things, small shifts that you practice every single day. There's a saying, small hinges swing big doors. This means that a very small action, if you do it again and again, can create a very big result. So, what does this daily practice look like? First, it is a practice of negotiation with your old self, with your old patterns. You must understand that your old habits will not leave quietly. They will not just wave goodbye. These old habits are strong pathways in your brain, neural pathways. They are like deep roads in a forest. They were created to keep you alive, so they will fight to stay. When you choose to rest, the hustle voice in your head will scream. It will say, "You are being lazy. You should be working." When you choose to trust a new person, the fear voice will whisper. It will say, "Be careful. You will get hurt again." Your job is not to yell back at these voices. That just creates another war inside your head. Your job is to be the kind, wise leader of your own mind. Your job is to hear the voice and speak to it with love. You can say, "Hello, fear. I hear you. Thank you for trying to protect me. I know that is your job. But right now, in this moment, I am safe, and I am choosing to do this differently today." This is how you retrain your nervous system. You show it new evidence. Day by day, moment by moment. You show it that you are not living in the past anymore. You are here, now, and you are safe. The practice also involves a decision. The decision to be ready. Most people wait until they feel motivated to do something. I will go to the gym when I feel like it. I will start eating healthy when I feel inspired. But true readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. It is the decision to show up for your 5-minute meditation even when you do not feel like it. It is the decision to go for a short walk even when you feel tired. You do not wait for the feeling to cause the action. You let the action create the feeling. Action first, feeling second. This is a very powerful secret. The practice also involves very, very small habits. Some people call them laughably small habits. They are so small you almost laugh. What is one tiny thing you can do for yourself today, right now? Can you stop and take 3 deep, slow breaths? 1, 2, 3. That is a win. Can you write down one thing you are grateful for? Just one. I am grateful for this cup of tea. That is a win. Can you forgive yourself for one small mistake you made today? It is okay. I am learning. That is a win. These tiny wins are very important. They give you back your power. They show you that you can change. They build your confidence, one small step at a time. Finally, the practice involves a deep promise, a radical commitment to be kind to yourself, to practice self-compassion, especially when you make a mistake, because you will make mistakes. You will falter. You will have bad days. You will fall back into old patterns sometimes. The old way of thinking sees this as a total failure. The voice says, "See, I knew you couldn't do it. You should just give up now." The new way of healing sees it as data, just information. You look at the mistake not with judgment, but with curiosity. You ask, "Oh, that is interesting. What happened there? What was I feeling? What old pain did that situation touch? And then you treat yourself with great kindness. The kindness you would give to a small child who fell down. The kindness you would offer a dear friend. You say to yourself, "It's okay, you stumbled. Let's get up. I'm here with you." And then you gently and with love put yourself back on the path. This is the beautiful promise of post-traumatic growth. This means that you can grow from your pain, not just survive it, but become stronger because of it. The cracks in your foundation, they do not have to be a source of shame. They are not a life sentence of being broken. When you do the work to understand them, and when you fill them with the gold of awareness and self-love, they become a beautiful part of your story. They become proof of your strength, evidence of your journey. And the foundation is not just repaired. It becomes stronger and more beautiful than it was before it broke. A life built on that foundation is not weak. It is not fragile. It is unbreakable. So, my friend, before you write another list of resolutions, before you make another promise to yourself with that frantic energy of fixing, just pause. Take a breath with me. Inhale and exhale. Look back at the year you have just lived, the year you survived. Acknowledge the heavy things you carried. Honor the person who did what they had to do to get through it. That person was you, and you did a good job. And then make a different kind of resolution this year. Resolve to go deeper, not faster. Resolve to be kinder to yourself. Resolve to put your healing above your hustle. The real work is not out there. It is not in the gym. It is not in the office. It is not in your bank account. The real work is in here, inside you. It is in the quiet moments when you are alone. It is in the brave choice to feel your feelings. It is in the gentle, daily choice to show up for yourself in a new, loving way. When you promise to do that work, the need for hard, punishing resolutions starts to disappear. Your choices begin to come naturally from a place of self-worth, not from a place of fear or shame. You do not have to force your way to a better life. You begin to create it gently from the inside out. The future you want is waiting for you, but it cannot be built on the broken ground of your past. It must be built on the solid, healed foundation of you, right here, right now. That is the real work, and it is the most worthy goal you will ever set for yourself. Now I want to hear from you. This is a safe space for honesty, not for performance. Let me know in the comments below. What is one crack, one old story, or one painful feeling that you will give yourself permission to look at with kindness this year? When you share your story, you are not just helping yourself. You are helping others feel less alone. You are creating a community of courage. And that is how we begin to rebuild together. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for spending this time with me and with yourself. Remember that this is a journey. Learning English is a journey. Healing is a journey. Be patient. Be kind. Keep going. You are doing wonderfully. If this episode was helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more. Your support means the world to me. I am sending you so much love. See you next time, my friend.